Welcome to the Conscious Radio Network. Become enlightened, have fun, and tell all your friends and family to share with everyone they know. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble while following us on Facebook, or find us on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Our podcasts can be found on Libsyn, iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. Most of all, remember to go to our official website at consciousradionetwork.com for past episodes, future shows, and scheduling. We also want to welcome our international audience. Don't stop now. Enjoy the community. Subscribe or follow today.
This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Good day, everybody, wherever you might be on this spaceship we call Earth. This is Conscious Radio Network's The Seance Podcast. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Paul Mekas. If this is your first time tuning in, please click like, subscribe, comment, and also don't forget to listen wherever you listen to your podcasts. Today, multidimensional healing. Joining us today. Now, how do you pronounce your last name?
Viglione.
See, there you go. I got it. Normally I ask that beforehand, but this isn't that formal. But joining us today is Natalie Viglione, Oracle of Original Creation and Vibrational Medicine Guide. Natalie's work is all about helping people reclaim their vital life force and reconnect to their own inner divine magic. With a background in herbalism, flower essence alchemy, and mineral balancing, she brings powerful, holistic approach to deep healing for both humans and their furry companions. Let's get ready to explore the mysteries of multidimensional nature and what it really means to live with clarity, vitality, and purpose. Let's welcome to the seance, Natalie Viglione. And we have that audience. Yes.
I love it. Live studio recording.
Yeah. So multidimensional healing. What is that for people out there in simple terms?
Yes. Basically, it's taking into context the fact that we are not just the physical body. We are an energetic being having a physical experience. And basically, we have all of these varying layers and levels, which are different vibrations that emit different frequencies. And when we are seeking to mend our bodies from an imbalance, we have to take into the context all of those layers and levels rather than isolating between one or the other, meaning just spiritual work or just physical work or just looking at symptoms. It's a multidimensional framework that utilizes many different kinds of remedying to work on imbalances within all of those layers and all of those levels. So that would be the simple answer.
Yeah, there's a mixture of energies going on all at one time.
Yeah.
What are you mainly looking at? Somewhere to come to you, and what would be, first question, what's been the common issue or dis-ease that somebody commonly comes to you looking for some insight on?
Yeah, it's always multifaceted, meaning there's a spiritual disconnection happening of some sort, whether that's feeling like I'm not sure I'm fully connected, and it could be just a trust issue ultimately. Fatigue is a huge one. Nervous system is just on hyper alert constantly. So it feels like, from even my experience, it's in the framework of the sessions and such, it's what I feel and what I hear is static. And so it can be a myriad of different things that happen, whether it's physical, it's happening in the GI tract, or there's an emotion, a heavy, like grieving heart, like it's just heaviness in the heart area. It's intriguing, though, that no matter how these things are showing up in the body or what emotions are showing up, for someone, or that feeling of just not being connected. The way that I like to think about it is, if we're created in the light of, I'll say, there's many ways to say this, but the eternal living source, creator. And we were meant to always be completely online, meaning totally connected at all times vibrationally to that source. What we have today is basically all this interference, the toxins, whether it be the water, food, the air, or the chronic stress that almost every being is facing today, even our fur babies. In fact, they're seeing the exact same issues that humanity is seeing, so it's being mirrored in both. It is as if all of this knocked everybody offline with source.
Yeah.
The way that I like to look at this is, we have to regenerate in our own cellular soil, just like Earth has to regenerate its cellular soil, Mama Earth's cellular soil, which is the literal soil.
Yeah.
So
Grounding.
exactly. So whatever is happening to Earth, what has happened to Earth, it has happened to humanity. And those that are mammals are really facing the biggest mineral imbalances and things that really begin on the inside and work themselves out. But of course, also working from that emotional layer in through all of our meridians, and how all the energy centers really connect through those super energy highways in our body.
Yeah. Not to get down the rabbit hole, but sometimes you like to get down the rabbit hole.
Sure,
That's
we
the
love
most
rabbit holes.
interesting stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think happened? I was born in the 70s, and
Me
I've
too.
been around, I've seen things, and it seems like within the last decade, maybe even more than that, maybe that slow buildup, but it seems like all of a sudden within the last less than a decade, is maybe 5 years, something happened. Everybody's just lost. Not everybody, but it seems like the frequencies, the dynamics of everything has completely changed, and people are just going berserk.
Yeah. It is, in my many years of studies. Now, this was all launched due to a function call that like, some of us are here to serve a function, and a function can be to actually help Earth re-anchor a new architecture. So this is what people call as New Earth, but it's not really new. It's essentially what was at one time in original creation, originally. And with all of the infusion of, we could say, like a parasitic force that really is only created when there's not coherence. So when there's massive dissonance, what happens is shadows become like egregores, if we will. Parasites are birthed out of dissonance. And so essentially what we've gotten in the spiral of true life, eternal living spiral. It has gotten so extreme, and we are so outside of the coherence boundaries, per se. Essentially what we've had is a complete, again, that knocking off of the cellular innate technology that we are as connected to eternal living source.
Yeah.
And to bring it back into coherence, it requires such massive purification. Essentially, what has happened is the toxins that have been poured into the earth, which thereby, because there is no disconnection between earth and our bodies, whatever happened to the earth happens to us. And so as the soil has gotten marred with all of the environmental chemicals and agricultural chemicals, and then we have the chemicals and everything that are being put into the food and into the sky, we have interference on every layer and every level at this point. Yeah. And so this huge awakening, as you also speak of, this awakening is really an awakening to come home to source. and to pull the spiral back into coherence. And when that happens, that's really what births this quote unquote new earth, which is really this grid that is realigning, and it becomes more and more unveiled the more and more each of us as a cell of earth purify all our layers and levels, help our fur babies to purify all layers and levels, and then also work to regenerate the earth on all layers and levels. So as more and more coherence comes in, it's exactly when you have parasites in your GI tract. If you want to get rid of parasites, you do a cleanse and you do a detox. The problem is if you don't change your life to completely change the environment in which you've created inside your body, you will constantly get parasites. They will come back. So what we're in is a time where you can't just detox and cleanse. This requires a complete about face, completely change the direction, to completely change everything that we do every single day, to move away from what has been to be able to move into what will be.
Yeah.
So it's
A
just
big,
massive static.
yeah,
And
big
unfortunately,
lifestyle switch. Just yeah.
it's like it's like complete. It's not just I'll do a little bit. It literally has to be a choice to, in the ancient texts, they call it the path of the initiate.
Yeah. Yeah. And the discipline that would be involved too. It takes a lot of people have just got to wake up. I think we just got to be taught that, hey, we are the stewards of ourselves and of the planet. God has put us here to help be part of the one picture. And I think, we lost track that we are part of the earth. It's part of us.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for the trees, we wouldn't be here.
If it wasn't for, and it's this symbiotic, this reciprocal relationship that we were always meant to be. We are stewards of the earth. We are stewards of our body, as you just said. Absolutely. And it's actually very sad. And the unfortunate part is when you're so filled with static, you can't hear the original song any longer. Yeah. And my work is very simple. It's to assist people to let go of the static, to move on a path that releases them from that hold so that they can begin to hear who they truly are as connected to a living, eternal living source. It's simple. At a foundational level, it is very simple. However, it requires a lot. It requires, again, the purification alone and choosing that path. And some people don't want to choose that path, and that's okay too. It's like in a body, are we ever going to have 100% of our cells completely regenerated and restored? Maybe. Do we need 100% of the cells to be restored and regenerated? Probably not. Not to phase in lock with the resonance that needs to happen to bring this heaven on earth concept that everyone talks about. It's not like anchoring it in, it's like here, but it requires a specific coherence of not only our beingness, but literally our breath, our nervous systems. They have to be at a certain wavelength, a certain vibration to be able to see and unlock what's already literally right in front of us. It's just that it's veiled through a frequency fence, if we will.
Yeah. I think it's also definitely the technology. I mean, the technologies that we have today within the last, I remember when the internet didn't exist. That,
yes,
the millennials out there, they'll probably be like, no.
Yeah.
Yes. We're looking at screens all the time. We're on Facebook. We're on social media.
We're here right now doing that very thing.
Yeah, we're not paying attention to situational awareness of life around us and living in the moment rather than being hooked into a conversation, texting or messaging. And it's, who are you really conversing with? You don't know, because we lost that personability, that connection, that human connection.
And that's inevitable if you think about it. I mean, with as much that has been poured, meaning the electromagnetic interference that has been poured on humanity,
Yeah.
and this earth and all of the animals and everything. It is actually a testament to how unbelievable our biological essence and how these bodies work. It is a testament to that engineering, because with all that we're facing today, the way that I look at this is it is no one's fault. This has been a situation of continued repression, oppression, suppression of truth that has led us into this very moment. And now all we can do is drop these seeds of truth to allow them to potentially grow into somebody's soul and allow that to resonate. And again, it's this bringing back discernment. It's bringing back not being attached to things that cause harm. You asked about specifically in the last 5 years, and if I were to be asked what has taken place, it is 5G that has taken place. It's simple.
Yeah.
And you can map it. And I have mapped it myself because I don't trust it. That everyone else, it's like we have to do it for ourselves sometimes to be able to see these kinds of truths.
Yeah.
And it is when that was turned on in 2019, early 2020, we have basically an influx of this toxic heaviness in the bodies, and the bodies are responding. The bodies are saying, I literally can't do, I don't have the things, I don't have the minerals, I don't have the things that I need to do what I'm supposed to do, so I need help. And when the body is communicating and screaming through symptoms, we unfortunately in this world on a mass scale treat the symptoms, not the root causes, which is really massive mineral imbalances in the body. Just like the earth soil. That is why our food, even organic food, is devoid of the right minerals, which is, so the thing that needs to happen is every farm needs to be regenerative. That's where we're headed, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're definitely far away. I see some other countries that have been really proactive into doing community farming, or there's like this little town in like Switzerland or Norway or something like that, and probably in other places where the village or town, everybody has their own garden, but they all trade.
Yeah.
I'll do the carrots if you do the cantaloupe or something like that.
Yeah, that's the way it always used to be. And
yeah,
none of us remember that. We have literally memories that flow through us saying that is what always needed to be. But we're not there. When you go to, there's a regenerative map website and you see what's happening. For example, just in the past 6 months, this farm here in the United States, the size of LA, a farm, a multi-generational farm, huge, right?
Yeah.
It switched to regenerative practices.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I remember hearing something about
that. Yeah. Kiss the Ground puts out beautiful wisdom like this. That's really transpiring, that it's happening. So, that's happening on one level. But again, the individual cells, aka us, are being asked to do the same thing. And honestly, it's purification and that path that leads to coherence in the body, which again corrects any disconnection with oversoul or whatever words you want to use with eternal living source. Yeah. Basically, that's what brings the body and the energetic layers, the light body, into alignment.
And you wonder too, to bring back that 5G thing, there's been quite a few countries that's banned it. They're like, we're not even allowing this because they know they've done the studies.
Exactly.
And I've been seeing all these write-ups, even the photographs of the trees and the wildlife around some of these towers that are dying. They're just dead.
Absolutely. And that is, my husband and I, to that point exactly that you just said. So the hurricane came through this last October here.
Helene? I think it was Helene.
Yeah, horribly. Yeah. Wiped out a town here in eastern Tennessee called Irwin. We're about an hour or so from Asheville, and pretty much people only heard about Asheville, but there was devastation far beyond Asheville in the same exact way. 22 feet of water, insanity. But in our neighborhood, we aren't where we were somewhere else waiting for our house to be built and everything. But in that neighborhood, it's the oldest neighborhood in that city. And what we were doing is walking around, and we were taking footage, which eventually we'll do like a mini documentary on this, because it's like, it's very connected into such a bigger picture. But what we noticed is all the trees were black inside. And there were hundreds, if not thousands of trees just in our neighborhood that went down. And these are trees that had been there for 100 years, 100 plus years. It's a very old neighborhood. Yeah. And so we were taking pictures because we were walking by the trees that were all fallen, looking at them going, what is going on? They're literally like hollow and black inside.
It's like they were cooked from the inside out.
Yes. And that, my friend, is exactly what's happening to all of us.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder, too, when it comes to 5G. I've been hearing from some reports, some of these cell phone repair people that, they open them up all the time. And they're like, 5G is a scam when it comes to cell phones because there's no 5G chips in them. They're like, they can't find a 5G chip. It's all about the towers.
It is all about the tower.
All about what's out there, not what's in there.
Exactly. Yeah. And in this conversation, I think it's one of those things that many people innately feel and know. If you just walk out in the street and you just have general conversations, people are like, yeah, that's it. That next layer of it, which is, okay, that's it. But now what? Like, now what? And so we can only control what we can control, which is not that. We don't have control to go out and take down all of these towers. That would be wonderful, but
unless we got together and did this big, huge collective free will, and because it is ultimately our business. It is our business. It's why don't we all just boycott the companies that are creating this or something? And
that's it. That the unfortunate thing, though, is like what you want, that mass, let's walk out.
Yeah.
We're there's not enough of our nervous systems and breath aren't aligning yet to do that. So it would only still be a few. And unfortunately, so with that said, we don't try to change what's out there. We take it upon ourselves to build our bodies into a purified, crystallized state of being, which then those toxins, no matter what they do, they cannot hurt us. And that's actually what happens. You build this barrier that protects your entire body because you're literally getting crystallized water into every cell. This is the Christ that everyone talks about. It happens from within our cells.
Yeah.
It's called Crystallized. And so it starts simple with water and that foundation, because a lot of people drink filtered water, but it's dead water. It has no life. It has no structure. It has no nutrients. So you take filtered water and you add structure and you add nutrients, minerals, trace minerals back into the water. Now you have water. And if everyone on the planet, including giving it to our little fur babies, just did that basic step, that alone could change. It would be a dramatic change because most bodies they're like deserts and their cells are crying for structured, mineralized water. Because they came after our water too, didn't they?
Oh, yes. I remember. I even remember the time I didn't have to pay for water growing up. We never had to pay for water. Water was a free resource. Now it's like we've allowed the corporations to take over every natural resource.
I know. And in cities, like if anyone lives in cities, you're forced to use the city water, which we could do an entire show on just what that water has in it. We're on well water now, which is pristine.
Yeah.
But not everyone has that capability. So yeah, there's that. And of course we see what's happening in some places, like even in some places in Florida where fluoride is being banned. And that is a step, but it's not the bulk of the issues, but it's something.
Yeah. And that just tells you that if that's happening in just one state, it's probably happening in others, but it's definitely happening in others. But when it happens like that, it just tells you like, whoa, what used to be a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Just a year ago, it was a conspiracy theory like that for years, but it's like, it's a conspiracy theory. Oh, really? Yeah. Why are now governments being forced to do what they're doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, big awakening.
Yeah. And these governmental institutions, again, those are slow. And if the steps are so small and so incremental, while also, yes, it's some kind of movement, again, the power is really in our hands because we can move a lot faster with ourselves and our families. Again, our fur babies.
Yeah.
So that's where the power really lies, is bringing back that sovereignty in our choices that we're making every single moment of every single day. And honestly, it's like an 80-20 rule, because I've lived, when I first got really ill, I was like a militant soldier going, no, I cannot have that. No, I cannot go there because it has. And honestly, it stressed my body out so much more. So anything good that I was doing, I was actually inflicting harm by being that militant kind of person. So it's really coming back into harmony with, we're creating a new dance of how to live in the world, but also not, like between the realms, like to balance, walk on the water between realms.
Yeah. And we as light workers have to be the stewards to help people get into these new lifestyle changes, teach people these new lifestyle changes, which segues into the next question before we go any further. There's two websites we like to share. Which is you want to start with the Awakening Magick one or the Forage and Flow?
Yeah, we could start with Awakening Magick.
All right. So for those who are watching, can see it scrolling at the bottom of the page, but where can they find you and what they can expect by going to this website?
Yeah. Awakening Magick is my little magical hub. It's a magical hub where really it's really centered around this kind of sacred transformational process. And vibrational medicine is the container of that, of which I can't really talk about all of the time in social media for very many reasons, as you well know.
You can talk about it on here.
But that is a container for vibrational medicine where I offer one-to-one sessions. But I have tons of resources. I have flower essences that I'm actually bringing into the mix. Flower essences are incredibly amazing because they work on such a subtle level and really work with our astral body and our energy meridians, or our energy highways in our body, to help facilitate change and transmute emotional blockages. To say it simply. So that's what you can find there.
Cool. And then Forge and Flow. Let's see. There it is.
Yeah. So my husband and I, speaking of what you were just speaking of, this wave of those of us that we're serving a function, which has been called lots of names: the star seeds, indigos, light workers. There's a billion names, but those are really identities. And so the function is that we're really tuning forks to help anchor in this new grid, meaning when we come into coherence, that is when our function starts. So it doesn't start until the function of coherence begins from within us. And many of us are being called to be shepherds, meaning stewards of land once again as well. And so my husband and I we just moved in and we just landed on our land, which we found years ago. And we're calling it One Song Grove. But Forge and Flow is what we're combining our vibrational medicine practices, which is, again, simply a multidimensional wellness framework, because my husband's a Tai Chi and Qigong instructor. He does sound healing. And so we're combining all the things that we bring to the table in Forge and Flow as our space that eventually will allow us to build in-person experiences and things here on the land to really serve as a grove again.
Yeah. You got to let me know when that happens. I'm
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. We moved in and we were just so pining to have this be, it's right now, especially me. We got to do this now. And it's no. Building buildings takes so long in this world.
Yeah.
Just our home alone took a very long time, a year and a half.
Wow.
And yeah, it was ridiculous. So anyway, patience and trust is where we are at in all of that.
Yeah. Go with the flow. Don't rush anything. Just go with the flow.
Exactly.
And we'll know if something's not supposed to happen right away, because you'll get that fight.
Yeah.
Like
resistance.
Weird happens. You're trying to submit something online and it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah. I had the same thing when I tried to publish my book on Amazon. I was trying to register for the KDP and it wasn't taking my information. It was just like I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I wasn't doing anything wrong. It was just, I don't know, the universe was like, it's not the right time. I think 2 or 3 days went by and I call them up, like actually on the phone with somebody, and they're like, it was almost like it never, like the issues I was having never really happened. It was just like I was in like another dimension or something. I'm looking up, I'm like, okay, whatever.
Noted.
Just in due time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The call and the invite will come through. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So many of us want to see coherence happen on such a massive scale faster, only because the vibration of what that feels like is pure magic in my eyes. It is to feel divine love in every cell of your body and a peace that just comes through your being. There's nothing like it. That is heaven. It's not a place. It's not a destination. It's here. Yeah. And again, it just takes a lot of patience and working on that purification path to have it become so.
Yeah, connecting to that source energy, to our source. And when that happens, you start to feel that vibration, you feel that energy, and sometimes you don't want to leave it. You're like, okay, I gotta get into the breathing exercises, you get meditation, deep states of meditation. It's like a couple times I've left my body, astral projection and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that gives us the glimpse of what's true. And so again, when we're holding in just via the presence and that function of the coherence that we're playing in this bigger rollout, if you will, that is to stay in that and anchored in that. That takes a lot of breath to sigh throughout the day, to let go of the things that we get bombarded with. Again, all the digital things that we have to just have in our space and our awareness. It takes a lot to serve as the load bearers.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. And so that's why having these strong practices, and I will say it, nothing is more magical than rebalancing the minerals from within the body, because those are the things that turn on every system in the body. Everything. They manage everything. It's like the oil in a big machine. And if you want all the gears to work, they all have to be oiled so they can move. Same exact concept. When that's the root cause protocol training that I've been through. When I felt the magnitude of what that really meant in this whole bigger, what New Earth really means is that regeneration, restoration, reclaiming our power from the inside out, if we will. I was floored. I was floored that it's that simple. Because it's not simple in that you have to take things and you have to be very conscious and aware and intentional in everything that you're putting in your mouth and It's not supplements all day long. That's not, because a lot of those are synthetic. They're not whole. So there's a lot of things that we just have to be very aware of what we're doing in that path. But when that rebalance happens from within, again, you begin to seriously feel your entire nervous system just go down. You are now in the state to where you are in control of your nervous system. The nervous system is in control of you.
Yeah.
Meaning you're not stuck in that fight and flight constantly, because it's that state that has gotten all the mammals on this planet into a state. And again, that's what we're seeing in our dogs and our cats too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see a growing recognition in the collective, people in the community starting to, wow, they're changing, they're reaching out, and like they're realizing, yes, they see this movement, they see this change that needs to happen?
Yeah, I think, I feel, I energetically feel that it's almost a really powerful ripple in a pond, that there's been so many people adding to the wisdom in that mineral conversation, especially when it comes to the earth. And now it's going to start shifting as people recognizing, wow, wait a minute. Okay, I already know I am the earth. I love the earth, but that we are the earth, literally, that's that next wave that needs to take place even more. Though I will say that even the training that I went through, there were thousands of us at that point. This was last year that I went through the formalized training with Morley Robbins, who founded it quite a long time ago, actually 20 years, I think. And 15, 20 years, something like that. And every time that another person anchors that wisdom in, it's just allowing for more of this wisdom to be dropped. But I really come back to this space but that isn't it. That's not the answer. So it's not just minerals. It's, again, every layer that we must see and recognize again and work with to really bring that into a truly holistic quest of getting the body back into balance. Yeah. So again, that's what kind of happens, though these things get a little isolated. So what I wanted to do is gather it all up and bring it into one thing, because that was the only thing that worked for me. I had to do that for myself first, and then for my family, and then for clients. So it's that it all started here first. Yeah. And it's game changing. It's beyond game changing.
The younger generation recognizing this a little bit more than, well, after seeing the big picture, going, okay, the Gen Xers and stuff like that, those are born in the 70s and 80s, would obviously recognize there's something wrong, there's something going on, because we were raised without all this technology. Yeah. So we've seen this transition. Yeah. Yeah. But the younger crowd, they were born with technology already in their hand. So I'm assuming, too, that the younger generation is going, whoa, hold on. I know I'm disconnected. What is happening?
Yeah, I was teaching at a little outlier school, a fringe school, for a little bit. We were involved with helping them in different ways. And I was working with some of the kids that were in different age groups, but mostly like in that 13-ish age range. Now, these kids have parents who are very aware of all of these things that we're talking, for the most part, the toxins and everything. So they're keeping their children very isolated out of that. And so it's different. Yeah. But these kids were so aware of the fact that there is a parasitic force, that their consciousness is sacred, that their body is an actual temple. And these are things that we literally talked about. And it was just magnificent to know that there's this wave. Now, these children, as far as I have seen, are also being born with more barriers so these things can't affect them in the same ways. Yeah. That it's like, how long have you been in the poison? That's however long that is. Yeah. That's where the effects are much greater. But for a lot of these kids, now we can also go on the other path to say that there's also a lot of children being born that are sick from the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
With a myriad of things. And again, we have these different kind of pathways that are being birthed almost simultaneously. But the way that I've been shown too is, as this call gets stronger and stronger, it requires more and more load bearers, meaning those that will serve in coherence to just be the function. Being in coherence themselves helps anchor everything that then allows others to feel safe to then begin theirs. Yeah. So it really is like it's a trickle effect of how this all can work. Because I've seen younger folks, I'm in my late 40s, I've seen younger folks that don't even own a phone or have it and hate it and don't even, so, we have, again, there's different little buckets of different groups, but yeah. So I think it's really, it's almost not even age anymore. It's about, are you here to function as a tuning fork? Yes or no? And a tuning fork is all the things that we've called indigos and stars. It's all the 144,000. There's a million different names, but those really give this, what I've realized, and this was a very big revelation, is that causes hierarchy as if some are chosen. Yeah. When in actuality, it's because the field needs it. Yeah. So it's a function, not an identity, not an entitlement, not being chosen, because that is where there starts to be some friction around these kinds of words that even cause disharmony just by saying these words. Yeah. And it wasn't only until recently that I was like, wow, that's a revelation right there.
Yeah, things are they're not as taboo as they used to be. The name of the show, I've had a couple people say, hey, that word's taboo, blah, 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 blah. Right. Now, I've had an archbishop on the show. Right. Of all people, you'd think that would be the last person that would be on the show. Right.
Yeah. But what the word really means, the etymology, right?
Yep.
Like a class or session, like it's
church. Yeah, it's a gathering. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is like a whole other layer to it. The words are just, there's vibrational aspects of just getting back to the root meanings as ancient that we can go in terms of languages to get to the core of what these words really mean, to reclaim them again. Yeah. So that we can start utilizing them and transmuting all of the muck and goo that are still around these words and reclaim them for what they really should mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
So before we wrap up the show, I always ask my guests, what do you have to offer as a takeaway, some words of wisdom for our audience today?
I know what was so helpful for me and was a game-changing aspect is, imagine if you lived in a town where every day someone came by and said, I hate you. You're ugly. You're horrible. What are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. Every day, every single day, every minute of every day, all day long, every single day. Would you want to live in that town? The answer is, of course, nope, we don't want to live in that town. Imagine now what we're doing to our bodies when we treat our bodies and ourselves in that way. Yeah. So if we remember that we are literally a universe, literally, we have cells inside of us. We are cells of Earth. The Earth is a cell of the living body of Source or of Creator, of a living being, a living, breathing, eternal being. If we can reflect and remember that, then that changes even, I think, what self-love means. Yeah. Because if you tell your cells every day that you don't like them, that you hate them, that you don't, whatever it is, imagine what that's doing to the cells in your body. They don't want to live there anymore. So how do you bring yourself into coherence? Just through the words in which you tell yourself every single day. And it starts with, I love you. I love you. And that, I have a whole practice on my website that I did that for 30 days while I was on a massive purification process.
Yeah.
I came out of that like not even the same person.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'll leave that because that, I think, frames up just a simple practice that we can begin.
A very
today.
powerful one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Man, I felt it. Man. Natalie, namaste, my friend.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Yeah, I
You're very
appreciate
welcome.
it.
And keep me posted on the retreat.
Yes.
That I can feel it. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Especially where it's at. It's, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Ah.
Magical trees. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof. Thank you again.
You're very welcome.
And thank you everybody for tuning into the Seance podcast on Conscious Radio Network. And until next time, we will see you next week.